Guys, deluded. I'm back again. Now, Unai Emery, mi casa, su casa, man, and all of them things there, man. He's going to become Arsenal manager. Well, I'm not in the know. I don't know. But this time last week, it looked like Arteta's rubber stamped if we just go by the reports. Unai Emery is to become our next manager. It's rubber stamped. Now, I've spent a good portion of the day on the sly when I've got home, like, just taking him in a bit more in a different light because he's going to become our manager. And I must say, out of 100, I'm 98% sold. I still maintain my thoughts about some of his tactics. He's a master tactician. He's shown he can change his tactics. Just because you're intelligent and you've shown your thing in the tactics doesn't mean I can't question you, because I've watched PSG this season and at times in the Champions League, as you've seen. Now, we can't just judge. Before I get onto that, I'm not even questioning the man's tactics. I'm just looking at the football, making my opinions. Some people can't grasp that. But he has my backing. So obviously, as he shows me certain things, it will come 100%. But I back him 100%. Now, one thing that's annoying me about Arsenal fans, whether it's going to be Arteta, doesn't look like it, but just to make a point, whether it's going to be Unai Emery, where my point it looked like Luis Enrique, Allegri, whatever, yeah, guys in Germany. Fans just need to stop complaining, man. It's a bit jarring, man. Just stop complaining. Like, don't complain about everything. You're right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. You need an opinion. Like, but why can't you just do what normal people can do? Like what I've just done. I've looked at the manager. I've assessed his pros and cons. In my opinion, he gets my backing regardless. But if I see certain things, he'll get, in the sense that I just told you guys about the 98%, he'll get sold to 100%. You get what I'm saying? Like, opinions are not facts, but back to it. Like, I've been looking at it and I don't know why, but of course there's an air of underwhelmingness. I can't imagine why. When you think about it, I started to question my own logic. I thought, what, really and truly, why? He's won 3 Europa League titles. He's done a decent job at Valencia. He's done his thing at Almeria. He lives and breathes football literally like Wenger. He's a meticulous planner. I mean, I believe his dad and his granddad have played football, so football's in his blood. That's the sort of stuff we need. We need energy. We need, it's not aggression, but for want of a better word, like that enthusiasm, that consistent motivation, as Wenger would say. Like, he could be a madness for us. Like, he's Spanish, so he's got all the Spanish know-how. The tiki-taka, sees different football differently. He's given young players debuts. Obviously, it remains to be seen certain things, because at the end of the day, he hasn't managed a side for Arsenal yet, and we'll critique and praise as it comes. But it's sick, man. He's a football fanatic. You need your manager to be addictive. Obviously, we've seen with Wenger, he's very dangerous if you're just living solely for football. But yeah, some say he's a bit hesitant with tactics at times, despite the fact he's got a great know-how with tactics. Obviously, the more I research personally, the more I'm getting gassed off him. Like I still maintain my opinion. You need to remember, I called for this guy to manage Arsenal last year. You've seen the vid. But like I said, from watching PSG this year, I've sat down and been like, But yeah, man, like, I like this approach. You've seen the stories about 12 hours of sitting down and going through video analysis and games. I like all of that stuff. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal probably do that stuff already, but clearly our approach isn't working. So if he's addicted, the key thing now is to sell the players this, because if the players are sold for playing for the manager like you've seen at other clubs, this could be madness. Imagine they match the manager's work ethic, his tediousness, his meticulous planning, his not leaving anything to chance, his enthusiasm. It could bode well, and those who are not on it, they need to be sold or shipped out or molded or waited until they go to him. His man management remains a question mark throughout his time, more specifically at PSG. But again, like I said in previous videos, you can't be judging man on having to manage the likes of Alves, Neymar, Cavani, Di Maria, Draxler. I mean, every week there must be something. I mean, only 11 players could play, and on top of that, these attacking players, they always want to play in certain things. Like, you see how Neymar, yeah, he's good off the left, but if I guarantee if you was to ask Neymar, he'd love to say he would love the freedom to do what he wants, to come in off the left, to go on the right, to roam. They all want to do them things, so it's difficult managing like 6-7 players. How many names I said and are in that side? So yeah, man. His training sessions are intense. Now we know it just clearly is reflection on the pitch. I'm not gonna be naive. Of course, Arsenal are not just sitting there and just passing the ball around in training and doing pretty little rondos, but it does appear like that. Now, his training sessions are intense, both physically and mentally. Now, if that means double sessions, that bodes for a different question, because now if there's double sessions, that means our players are going to get fitter. But on the other hand of things, they could tire in games quicker, because you imagine you got 2 games in a week. Obviously, double sessions won't be done, but if we were doing that throughout a season, you could see fatigue creep into our play. So pre-season's a big thing, as I've said previously. What I like, he insists on team boldness as well. Team boldness. He insists on the team remaining together, having team bonding sessions, going to dinner and them things. Arsenal do that already, and for all the critiques we have to admit that is a tight bunch of players. You never see them digging each other out really and truly off the pitch. They always look like they're doing things on and off the pitch. We need to maintain that and keep that going. Don't get me wrong, we need to bring the fire and the intensity and the drive and all of them things, but you need to be together. How many of you play for a Sunday League team where you don't really chat to my man, you don't really know my man, you're not cool with him, and that it doesn't bode well. But if you're all from a similar area, got a similar outlook, or not even that, you just damn right get on with each other from wherever they're from, you're going to play better football, more doubt. So, yeah, he prides himself on preparation and knowledge. Now, there are two things I'm going to hold my man to, because sadly, that's what Wenger failed to do in the last 18 months, really, of his duration here. That's what we need. We need calculatedness. We need cerebralness. We simply need preparation and knowledge, and need to be cerebral in our approach. When we got big away games, we need to know the fans are going to be on our backs. The players do need to do certain things. We need to be more cunning in our approach. We can't keep being naive and this Disney Channel stuff of, yeah, we play good football, and I say that lightly, but we can't keep being naive and thinking if we just go out there and do our way, we're going to win. Don't get me wrong, there needs to be a balance, because I don't agree with solely, there's exceptions to the rule, but on a general basis, I don't agree with solely just catering to your opponents. You need to show your strengths. You need to bring your qualities. Liverpool, best example. If they catered just for City when they've played them the last 2 times and thought, oh, they've got X, Y, and Z, they're going to threaten us, they wouldn't have won the games and be in Champions League finals. They focused on their strengths, but they also obviously kept thought of what them players are doing. I'm not just saying go out there and be silly, guys. So, yeah, for me, regardless of what I personally think of him or his opinions or cons, what I've always told you, man, I like to judge a man on his conviction. Like, regardless of if you agree with his thing or not, and you think he's a madman or you think he's a genius, someone that is sure of themselves, that is sure on how they want to do things, is better for me than someone that doesn't have a clue, because we are in a tough spot as a club. Away from football, just who would you rather be? Someone that's, whether they know what they're talking about or not, but is confident in themselves, or someone that's second guessing and 50-50 and them things there. You're not gonna get anywhere. So yeah, man, it remains to be seen if the players buy into several things, but it looks good, man. Like I've said previous times, like, I don't know why people think I'm getting onto my man. When people say I question his tactics, they somehow think I mean he can't coach. That doesn't mean that. Like, if you guys say I'm a good manager and I'm winning with 4-3-3, for example, I'm not saying he does this, but I'm winning with 4-3-3 and I switch for formations to 4-4-2 and we have a spell where we're playing rubbish or we're not performing, are you not going to say, DG, yo, your team's losing because what are you doing with the tactics and stuff like that? But I still showed my class before it. People were questioning the great Pep Guardiola last season when he was doing certain things with centre-backs. They're not talking crap about Delps playing left-back now, are they? Like, not that I'm praising or them things there, but you get my point. What I love, he's a football obsessive, so the players need to match him halfway. The side is a reflection of the manager. So ultimately, if they can reflect someone that is meticulous, someone that is prepared to be prepared, someone that is willing to go the distance, someone that is galvanised, someone that's energetic, all of these things, it bounds well for Arsenal going forward. It sounds like we could realistically, let's not go in Disneyland, but the immediate target is to challenge for that top 4 position. Obviously, we'd love to win the league, but that's a myth. 4th realistically, 4th maybe 3rd, depending on if the other teams mess up, which is a myth for us, right? But immediately, and if you can't do it that way, or ideally in an ideal season, how we should be looking at next season is top 4 and you win that Europa League or at least get to a final. So you covered it both ways. He's won the Europa League 3 times. He doesn't really like Jose Mourinho. He's cool with Pep like me. He's got Klopp's number. He's beaten before. So yeah, all of these things bond well. Like, I still have my reservations about the man. I can't understand why people say I hate on him. I still have my reservations about the language barrier when I look back at his Spartak Moscow days. But allegedly he's learning English and these sort of things. So yeah, man. But for me, away from just everything I've said, like, just get behind the man, whether you think it or not. Like, if he's going through the spell and he's not performing, then yeah, but don't be saying he's not the man for the job and he's dead and he's rubbish and he's this and that before he's managed a team or he's even led a coaching session or had a press conference. Like, just get behind the man. Like, he didn't, at the end of the day, like, you can't, when you look at it, like I've said, unbiased as possible, look at the CV, regardless of, like I've said myself, question the tactics at times. Look at the CV. 3 Europa Leagues, done his thing at several clubs. I've said it at the beginning of the vid, but you get the point, people. So yeah, man. On that note, guys, deluded. In fact, will this give me enough time? If it cuts out, people, I'm sorry, but in fact, you know what? Next vid. Guys, deluded. I'm out.